Hi everyone, welcome back to Project Happy Home. For those of you who are new here, I'm Tanya, a doctor lawyer turned homeschool mom of 3 kids ages 9, 6, and 4. If you are interested in videos about secular homeschooling, raising a child with ADHD, and living a more essentialist lifestyle in general, you have come to the right place, so be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. In today's video, I will be showing you Hewitt Homeschooling's Lightning Literature and Composition for Grade 4. Now, if you've seen my last Lightning Literature video, you know that we tried to use it for the very first time for Grade 3 for my son this year. We are still working our way through it, and we'll be continuing into the summer because we had some scheduling issues because my son went to a part-time cottage school for a little bit for 2 days a week, and that sort of messed up our schedule. But that's neither here nor there. We will be finishing up Grade 3 over the summer. We have enjoyed Lightning Literature so much. It is such a good fit for our homeschool. I think it's an excellent option if you are interested in literature-based learning, especially for composition and grammar being integrated with what the kids are reading. And I'm really excited to use it for Grade 4 with my son. I'm also going to be using the Grade 1 level for my daughter, and I will show you that in a future video. So let me know in the comments down below if you have an urgent need to see Grade 1 because I will bump it up in my filming queue. Now, Hewitt Homeschooling has Lightning Literature out for Grades 1, 2, 3, and 4, and they are slated to have Grade 5 out by this fall if anybody's interested in the higher level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the inside of the teacher guide and then show you the inside of the student guide. The teacher guide is much more black and white and orderly and wordy than the student guide, so don't be alarmed by what you see in here. And I've only collected about 4 of the books that we're going to use for this so far because I had these 4 on hand and I just wanted to show you those as well. So when you order Lightning Literature Grade 4, you receive these 2 books. You receive the teacher's guide and the student workbook. The student workbook is hole punched if you want to keep the pages in a binder, which I think is a nice feature for some people, especially if you want to separate out your lessons and you like doing like just week 1, week 2, things like that. It is very easy to split up your lessons that way. Now, when you turn to the table of contents, you can see that this curriculum covers 36 weeks and actually goes over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 books. Of those 12 books, I have 4 that I picked up just from our bookshelf. So we have The One and Only Ivan, The Borrowers, The Family Under the Bridge, and Tuck Everlasting. Those are 4 of them. The other ones are The Earth Dragon Awakes, Morning Girl, Gone Fishing, Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, which I actually have, it's downstairs, Nim's Island, which I also have, The Dreamer, Love That Dog, The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind. So those are the other ones that I haven't showed you. As you can see, they do take different amounts of time per book depending upon the length of the book. There is an instructional guide about how to use the teacher's guide. The books include 1 book of nonfiction, 2 books of poetry, and then it also has a very international view, which I liked very much. The Earth Dragon Awakes is about Chinese immigrants. Morning Girl is about Native Americans. Where the Mountain Meets the Moon is about Chinese fables. And The Dreamer is about a family in Chile. And The Boy Who Harnessed the Wind is about a family in Malawi. So you have a nice international, multicultural kind of approach to the literature in this year. After having used this curriculum for a year now, I realized that the way they have split out the curriculum is in 3 major parts. 1, you have the actual reading. So you have the reading questions, the comprehension questions, and the book discussion, which all fits within that first part of reading. So whether or not you read the story or your student reads the story will really depend upon you. Both are perfectly acceptable in this curriculum. The book discussions are led for you per book. There will be like a layout kind of like you see here. So if you're not confident about it or if you feel like you need some more guidance about how to discuss the book, this curriculum provides that. After the book discussion part, there is a grammar and mechanics section. The grammar and mechanics section is what you will find mainly in the student workbook. And that is also tied closely to what you are reading. So the example sentences that your student will be working with will often be sentences that are found in their reader. The curriculum does include sentence diagramming. How you feel about sentence diagramming is up to you. I'm still on the fence about it. I think that it is helpful, but I think that it's not necessary. That being said, if you want your student to learn sentence diagramming, it is in here. And the third prong of this curriculum is composition. So that's something I really appreciate, because instead of getting a separate composition and writing curriculum, they interweave composition assignments very cleverly with each of the books. So for example, if they're doing a book that has a lot of narrative episodes, they might have the student practice similar types of writing. And I also like that they piece out the composition assignments over the week, so you don't have this one big day where you have to write an entire paper. In general, they'll say the first day is to choose an idea or a topic, the second day is to write an outline, the third day is to do a mind map, etc., etc. This is a 4-day-a-week curriculum. Every 5th day is left free for catch-up or just taking a day off from language arts. We generally use it for catch-up. So the first page of week 1 in the teacher's guide tells you the book for the week and exactly what pages you'll be covering. It also tells you what kinds of optional materials might be helpful, like information on San Francisco, earthquakes, more books by Lawrence Yep. This is really helpful if you do like a weekly library run. And then it tells you what you're actually going to do with grammar and mechanics, as well as what you're going to do in composition. So the composition assignment for this week is to begin a historical short story, which in general will mean that in week 2, you will be finishing the historical short story. So you can see how they piece out the composition here. And they actually tell you specifically what you'll be doing. You'll be writing the first half of the rough draft, writing the second half, and checking the rough draft for historical accuracy. Whereas in week 1, you're choosing a time and place, creating characters, choosing a conflict, and summarizing the plot. And these will be day 1, day 2, day 3, and day 4. The teacher's guide progresses the same way throughout. It lists the day and it lists those 3 sections. So your literature section, your grammar and mechanics section, and then your composition section. So in literature, it'll tell you the answers to the reading comprehension questions. And then in grammar and mechanics, it'll tell you the answers to the work text page as well as your goal for that grammar page. And in the composition assignment section, it will tell you a little bit about why she has chosen that type of writing assignment and what kinds of things you might do to help the student, etc. So here it talks about creative writing, and they're easing into composition by writing a short story. So the short story must be set during a historical event or historical time period. They give you some examples like the Boston Tea Party or colonial America. And today the student just has to brainstorm a variety of possibilities and settle on one event or time period. So it eases them into it, which I very much like. And since my son has ADHD, that type of bite-sized chunking of writing is really helpful for him. In day 2, it goes on and tells you what the reading pages are. Again, the answers to the reading comprehension questions, the answers to the work text, and then continues. So the teacher guide goes on in a very orderly pace all the way throughout. As you can see, sometimes the days start in the middle of the page, which is one of the features that I don't like about the teacher guide, but it does make it very compact, I suppose. So the teacher guide, as you can see, continues in a very similar format all the way through. It is entirely black and white and very direct and to the point. Very helpful. I never had questions that were unanswered. One other thing to show you would be how the book discussion is laid out at the end of each of the books. So for example, this is at the end of Where the Mountain Meets the Moon. And if you are going to talk about things like theme and story and characters, setting, external details, internal details, and conflict, it is all laid out for you. You do not need a master's in English. You can read this ahead of time and discuss it with the student. Make sure your student is getting, the main key literary points out of the book that you want them to. Before I get into the details of the student workbook, I just want to point out a couple of things. 1, it is hole punch, so you can put it into a 3-ring binder. 2, it is much thicker than the teacher's guide because it is very open, and the font is bigger, and it's very colorful, and it's very easy on the eyes. Before I get into the details, I just want to give you a quick flip through so you can see what I mean. As you can see, each page pretty much is colorful. There is a colored band that runs across the top right here that you can see, and each band corresponds to a different book. So for example, this book has the orange color, this book has the purple color, this book has the green. It's a nice little visual separation. I thought that was a nice detail that they threw in there. So Morning Girl is in red, and then you have the Earth Dragon Awakes in blue. Those corresponding colors show up in the table of contents as well, which is another nice feature. And the student can look ahead and see exactly where they are for the different weeks if they want to see, like, when am I going to be done with this book, etc. Book section opens with a little title page. Every week opens with a little photograph that corresponds to the book. And then you have a student checklist. If we zoom in on the student checklist, it says what their assignments are for each week. This is a really easy way for you to create a planner for this child. For example, all you have to do really is make a copy of this page and stick it into their planner if they have one, or just use this page from this book so they can see exactly where they are per week and whether they've done everything for the week. If you have a very self-motivated student, or if you're trying to teach more independence, this is a really useful page that they provide. Week 1, day 1 gives you a little information about the book. It talks about very basic things like the title, a subtitle, what historical fiction is, and then it has some reading comprehension questions. Day 1 continues with a grammar lesson on nouns. And I like that the instructional section is on the same page as the work, so there's very little flipping back and forth to do. Day 2 also has a 2-page assignment, and basically you have your reading assignment, 1 reading comprehension question, and then you move straight into common and proper nouns. This is all still instructional, and then the lesson, as you can see, is fairly short and simple here, where you list 10 of your favorite proper nouns. So there'll be a total of 12, and then this is just drawing a line from the picture of the proper noun or common noun to the word that names it. Day 3, again, you have your reading assignment, your reading comprehension questions, and then your grammar lesson on singular and plural nouns, as well as a short page to review. Day 4 continues exactly the same way. You have your reading, then you have your grammar lesson, and your worksheet where you can demonstrate your knowledge. There is always an optional exercise at the end of each of the weeks, and it's totally up to you whether you find it worthwhile or not. In general, the optional exercises are a little bit of fun, more like puzzles and crosswords and things like that. Here, you have to find out the pattern in the series to fill in the blanks that fit the pattern. So it just offers a different type of critical thinking for your kids. After the first book, you move straight into the next book, Morning Girl, and the colorway changes to this brick red color. It is important to note that although you have all 3 prongs of this curriculum included in the student checklist, for example, you have your reading assignments, you have your grammar and mechanics section, and you have your composition assignment here, write the first part of a personal essay from 2 points of view, the instructions for this are not included anywhere in the student workbook. So if you are interested in more direction about writing, etc., it is really worth it to get the teacher edition. If you are not, however, if you want to use this curriculum more as a grammar and mechanics accompaniment to reading, then you don't necessarily need the teacher guide unless you want guidance with the questions and discussions of the literary elements, etc. So this book continues in that way, and I'll just do a quick flip through so you can see basically how the book is structured. If you've seen my flip through for the grade 3 level, you can see that there is definitely more writing per page. There is a little bit more work that's expected and writing from the student, which is actually a good thing in my opinion, because they should have progressed to this point where writing a sentence or 2 for reading comprehension is not, a deal breaker. I really love how they use different colors to highlight the examples from the actual instructional material. It makes it really easy for the student to sort of go back and find the example. They have activities like this where you correct punctuation errors. At various points throughout the curriculum, they do include poetry. And as I mentioned, 2 of the books in the curriculum do focus on poetry and different elements of poetry. Overall, I could not have been happier with this curriculum for this year. I'm really excited to do it again with my son. I think it has worked out really well. When I asked him which curricula he liked this year, this was one of the ones that he mentioned that he really enjoyed. So that was my quick flip through of Hewitt Homeschooling's Lightning Literature and Composition for grade 4, you guys. If you have any specific questions, let me know in the comments down below. Overall, this curriculum worked really well for us this year. I've really liked their literature choices. I love how they incorporate their grammar lessons with the actual literature that's found in the readers. And I think the books are on grade level for the student to be able to read themselves. The assignments are the right length each day. The way they structure it out for me offers just the right amount of support for me and not more than I need. So I don't necessarily use all of the text inside the teacher's guide unless I need to look at it. but it is a really helpful teacher's guide, and I appreciate that. And she makes it very clear in her teacher's guide that she wants you to adjust whatever you need to the needs of the student. So for example, if there's dictionary activities or something like that, that is really up to you. Like, do you think that your student would benefit from that or not? It is a very comprehensive curriculum in my mind, because I think they review every single concept in grammar and mechanics that you really want to hit in any particular year. And I also love the pacing of their writing assignments. My son never really balked at the writing assignments, which I found incredibly surprising, and I'm incredibly grateful that we discovered lightning literature and composition when we did. So again, I will be doing a review or a flip through of the grade 1 level as well, and I will link my grade 3 review down below in the description box if you're interested in seeing it. As always, you guys, thank you so much for spending some of your time with me. I really do appreciate it, and I wish you the very best day.